everyone. My name is Awal, and welcome to the virtual assistant masterclass. And I can assure you that this is the only course you would ever need as a virtual assistant. In subsequent videos, I might be updating this class from time to time. So let me introduce myself to you. So my name is Awal, and Alabi. I'm an edtech founder Lean Ladder where we teach digital skills. We have paid and free courses. I also own a digital marketing agency called Awa.co. I also work in tech as a website designer. I'm a digital marketer, a project manager, and also a software engineering in training. So how did I come across being a virtual assistant? So sometimes few years back I got into a huge debt from a business failure, and then I had nothing to do. I didn't know what to do, and I needed to make money urgently as soon as I can. I went online searching for resources, searching for trainings on YouTube everywhere on skills that I can learn. I came across virtual assistants, but to my surprise, I did not get enough resources on actually being a virtual assistant. Everyone was talking about me making some payments, making paying them before I can have access to a lot of tutorials. So what did I do? I did not have money to pay at that point, so I went on websites like Udemy to search for what their virtual assistant course looks like, and at that point, that was where I saw what virtual assistant do. And then I then went on YouTube after checking the course outline, and I went on YouTube to actually check for all of these skills, all of this training, and then I learned all of these things individually. And some of them I actually know how to do them even before now. So I'll be talking about a lot of things that probably you even currently do them. You know how to do them even at the moment. So you know how to do them even at the moment. So now let's get right into it. Don't let me bore you with any stories. So who is a virtual assistant? So basically, a virtual assistant is a self-employed professional who provides administrative, technical, creative support to clients from a remote location. The reason why you have virtual assistant, virtual means remote, it means working from home, is because you work from home. Now, let me tell you, there is no specific task that skills that you need to have as a virtual assistant. Also, although we have some common ones like the administrative skills and all, but there's no specific tasks like that. So whatever skill that you know, whatever thing that you know how to do, you can offer it as a service as a virtual assistant, be it technical support, graphic design, website design, and all. Although we're exploring some of the administrative support in this course, but whatever skill that you have, updating an e-commerce website, doing all of that and lots more. So now, some of the common tasks of a virtual assistant we have are scheduling appointments and meeting. So as a virtual assistant, you can schedule appointments, and you can also schedule meetings for people. As virtual assistant, you can manage emails and communication with for clients. As virtual assistant, you can make travel arrangements. As virtual assistant, you can do basic bookkeeping. As a virtual assistant, you can do social media management. As a virtual assistant, you can offer website maintenance services to people. So what are the market demand of a virtual assistant, in case you're asking? So market virtual assistant is high and growing. The demand is really substantial and increasing rapidly. The reason why I taught this course is that when people ask me that you want to make money online with this skill, and I tell them about virtual assistants, I tell them how important it is, how in demand it is. You can work for anyone from anywhere and from any part of the world. And also, because of the rise of remote work currently, most businesses are now embracing remote teams, which make virtual support roles extremely desirable. Also, cost savings for companies. So when companies hire virtual assistants, it helps their business, their company to save overhead costs compared to when they have the traditional employees. Also, scalability. So virtual assistants also their operations, allow businesses to scale their operations as well. quickly without any long-term commitment as well. So it helps them in that way as well. And then it helps them in that way as well. Excuse me. It helps them in that way as well. So, what are the opportunities you have as a virtual assistant? The opportunities you have as a virtual assistant are numerous. um you can specialize in various areas like offering administrative support, where you can schedule, you can do email management, and you can offer data entry services. You can offer customer services, where you also always answer inquiries or any problem resolution. You can do social media management, where you handle content creation, community management, and all. You can have some technical skills, which are web development, graphic design, SEO, and etc. SEO, etc. So let's now come to the first module, which we'll be talking about calendar management as a virtual assistant. So when you're managing calendar as a virtual assistant, some of the basic functionality you are expected to do are to create and edit events. So we are creating and editing events, adding a title, the date, the time, and the location. You are setting reminders, setting up pop-up emails, SMS, and more. You are utilizing different calendar views, showing the day, the week, the month. You're also helping to search for events or specific information within your calendar. You can also share and collaborate, so you can share calendars with various people. You can invite others to events and manage RSVP for team members as well. Some of the other things you can also do when it comes to calendar management is to create recurring events daily, weekly, with custom patterns. You can separate calendars for different areas of your life, for work, for personal. You can add color coding events for organization. You can subscribe to public calendars. You can integrate with other task management or project management tools. So let me show you now some of the basic things that you can actually do with your calendar. So when you open your calendar, for example, you can always come to your Gmail and then go to calendar directly. So now I've opened the calendar app. So now, like I said, if you want to create an event, the first thing that you do, you can see, oh, these are all the things that you have in your calendar. So because we're in Nigeria, it has already set some of the public holidays that we have here. We have the Workers' Day, we have the Children's Day, the Democracy Day, the Father's Day, etc. So let's try and create an event, for example, to show you. So the first thing you had when you are creating an event is to add the title of an event. So let's assume this is a virtual assistance masterclass. So you have to set the time. Okay, on what day is this particular training going to hold? On the 30th of April. Let's assume it's on the 30th of April. Okay, what time it is? 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So this other part that we have here is, for example, all these conferences they hold, all these meetings they hold, and then it's the whole day. The meeting is going to be holding the whole day, so you don't have to. There's no specific time for it, so you can set this particular meeting to all day if it is in that aspect. You set the time zone, and also if the event is a repeat event, if it's daily, if it's weekly, on every other day, you can also find the time if you feel like your calendar is booked. So this is where you can add guests. So you can add guests by adding each of their emails to your calendar, to this particular event, and send to them. You can also add location, which is adding location of the specific event. And also, if this event is going to entail a Google Meet video conferencing, you can also add it. You can go further by adding more description, talking more about this particular event here as well. And then lastly, coming down here, like I said, you can add color codes. Let's assume some meetings are color orange, some are color red, some are color purple. You can actually set different colors for different events. So you can set the default visibility. If it's public, if it's private, you can set it here. And then this is the notification I was talking about. So you can also set different notification for different events. Let's assume you want people to get reminder for this event all through the week, all through the year, all through every time. So you can set the 30 minutes before, 1 hour before, a day before. You can also create custom where you just select, okay, how many days ahead, 20 days ahead and all. You can set as much as possible. You can keep on adding a lot of notification. I don't know if you've gotten invites of an event and then you realize that they're sending like 4 or 10 events to you. So which is, this is what exactly you are expected to do here. And then when you have a Google Meet video conferencing, once it's added to it, you'll be able to share this link with other people or just add the guests. When you add the guests, they receive it in their email. When you share the link with them, you can just copy this link, for example, and just share it with other people. So let's assume you're working for a client. This is how you actually just manage their calendar. And that when that is done, you can have and when that is done, you can have different things on your calendar, for example. So you can open your calendar to see what it works, to see when you are booked, when you are not booked. Even when it does not entail Google Meet, you can just use it to set all the different meetings that we have. So if I open 30th of February, you can see 30th of April, for example. This is the event that I just finished setting here. So you can set as much as possible for every other day of the week as requested by your clients. So some of the next thing that we can do is also email organization as a virtual assistant. So there's a rule as a virtual assistant when you manage emails for clients, which you call the inbox zero. So the inbox zero is an email management philosophy aiming to keep your inbox as close to empty as possible. So it's not really about having zero emails, but ensuring that every email is dealt with and organized properly as well. So now, some of the key strategies for organizing your email is to group your emails into folders or labels. So you can create folders or labels to categorize different emails. You can filter your emails, so any incoming emails is filtered based on the criteria. You can use powerful search functions within your email client instead of relying solely on folders. You can aggressively unsubscribe from newsletters and informations that you do not need as well. You can also do some bulk actions like deleting multiple emails to speed up your processing. So let's go back to our email and let me show you some of these processes. So let me go to my inbox, for example, on my email. So these are all the messages that I have on my inbox, for example. So now you can create labels. So how, what does labels mean? So labels mean that if for example, you can see all these messages that I created as labels here. I want to see them as important as possible. So now let me show you how to create label. Let's assume every information that comes from this university of the people, I want them to be under a label, which means that whatever email that comes in from them, I'm moving into that label automatically. And this is because so that I can know that I have every details about this university of people in my label and I can view all the emails they've ever sent to me at one glance. So your job as a virtual assistant might be actually to sort that for your clients, categorize that email. So let's assume all the emails from the university of people. The first thing to do is to search for the university of people. You can also do this for your email. So university of people, let's assume just few of their emails I'm able to get here. So I'm just going to probably I'm going to look for all, but just for the purpose of this class, just this one. So I'm just going to go to labels and then create a label as university of people, of people, university of people, and just create. So now my university of people is now under a label, and when I come down here and I click on university of people, all the emails that I've sent under university of people, I can find it here. So this is a way to how to actually filter or sort your email. So I can add as many as possible. For example, this is my software engineering school. All the emails under my software engineering schools, I can find them under this place as well. So Also, one other function I can also do is, for example, if I want an email comes in and I want it to be as important as possible, I can actually star the email. So starting the email shows to me that it is an important email. For example, even if it's for a client, it shows that it is an important email. So I can always come to when I come to my start, I can always see every important email, like every favorite email. So you can use it for that purpose. Also, you can unsubscribe emails that you don't need. Just when you just hold it, you don't even have to open it. You can always unsubscribe every email, delete every email, mark as read, snooze, and all. So if you want to unsubscribe in bulk, let's assume you have emails from 6 months, from 1 year, you can actually use a tool called unroll.me, unroll.me, and use it to unsubscribe. Use, excuse me, you can use it to filter all your emails at once, and it makes the process less burdening for you. It makes the process less burdening for you. We also have the inbox zero methodologies as a virtual assistant that you need to follow. It is called the D system, and the D system says you have to delete or get rid of any unimportant emails immediately. That is the way to ensure that your email is really arranged. The do system also says if an email requires action and takes less than 2 minutes, do it right away. If something you are going to do requires an action and it can be done in less than 2 minutes, you need to do it right away for your clients. Also, delegate. If an email you need to forward emails that has to be done by someone else, you need to follow it. You need to forward it, so you need to delegate and then defer. If there is any emails that require long actions, you can schedule them using the snooze functions. You can create tasks or put them in a to-do folder. I showed you how you can just snooze emails, so it's just going to keep reminding you that, oh, this email is yet to be attended to, this email is yet to be attended to. One other thing you can do is time blocking. So what you do is you don't check your email at every point in time. You, if you're managing email for a client, you check it twice in a day, in the morning, in the afternoon. Dedicate like 30 minutes each to it so that you can just view it at that particular time, and then you're able to sort everything that is in those emails. So now let's go to document formatting. So this is applied to when you are using either of Microsoft Word or Google Documents. When you are formatting documents, you need to master some styles. You need to understand some styles of formatting that can be applied with a single click. This is just to ensure consistency across your content. You also need to know how to create custom styles. You need to have some be able to modify some existing styles as well. You need to be able to automatically generate a clickable table of content based on your heading styles. You need to images and shapes, adding watermarks, adding themes as well. And also, like, I'm going to go to Google Documents right now, and then we'll be exploring some of the functions of the Google Document so that we can understand this a little bit better. So Google Document is actually one of my favorites, so I prefer it over Microsoft Word. But if you are using Microsoft Word as well, it's fine. So you can actually download Google Documents on your laptop, on your phone, on anywhere that you are using, and it was definitely going to they're definitely going to find this very funny. So this is the interface of Google Documents, for example. So let me bring a file. Okay, let me copy something from somewhere and then bring it here. So let me upload this. So we have this particular document here right now. We have this particular document here right now. I want something more than this. Let me try and generate another document entirely so that I can show you. So I'm trying to generate a blog post, and that is what we would be using. So here we have it. So we have all of these documents here. So now one important part where I'm talking about how to actually format your documents is that you see every text that we have here, this is our heading. So let me now teach you what we mean by H1, H2, and H3. Our heading one is our main heading for whatever we are writing. Our heading two is categorized under our subheadings, and then we have the body of the text, which is this, and then we have some of these key points, which is under bullet point, which is our H3. So our H3 is used to explain our heading the more. So we have the heading, the subheading, and the sub-subheading. So let's assume I want to format this. This is not in the right heading format because this is like in the same text with these other ones. So instead of me doing it one after the other, one thing I have done here is that I have, you see, my heading one, heading two, they are already in the format. So whatever that I'm writing, if it's a title, if it's title, if it's subtitle, if it's heading one, heading two, heading three, it's already in a way that I want it to be. So this particular one is my in my heading one. So what I will just do is just to automate formatting. So once I come here, this is my heading one, this is the main heading. It's going to automate as my heading one. If I come here, this is my second heading, which is my heading two, which is the subheading. Once I come here, it's just heading two. So I've set the fonts that I want to use for every part of this. This is another heading two that I have here as well. I'm just going to go to my Google document and just switch it to heading two. So this way you are saving yourself the time instead of editing it one after the other. You know that your main heading is heading one, your subheading is your heading two, and then you just use the normal font. So you can see let me show you now. This particular one, I've set it to be in font 20. As you can see, this is in font 16. So if I come to the main body of my word, so this is normal text, which is the font 11, you can see that everything will be aligned. There won't be a problem of you using a different font for something else. So this is like my heading 3 as well, all these subtopics for the bullet points here. I can decide to leave it like this or also switch it as well to heading 3. You can see I can also switch it to heading 3. So the good part about it now is that once I am aligning all of these things, you can see it that is showing here in my outline here. So when I want to create like a table of contents, this my table of contents is creating for me already. I don't have to stress all the outline, everything that you can find in my documents, you'll be able to see it on this side. So if I increase social media marketing to heading 3, my email marketing to is also supposed to be heading 3, is also heading 3. So you can see everything keeps showing here. So from here now you can see my heading. You can see, so even when I want to create a table of content, for example, it is automatic. Also, if I want to view my document, if your document is too much, you can view your document in different formats. You can view your documents in different format. You can insert tables, you can format, you can add table of contents, you can add all of these things. So I just thought to show you this basic formatting. And the good part about this is that now I don't have to save before I share this document. I can just share this document directly to other people, just copy the link. I can also do like a real-time conferencing. Let's assume with a client of yours, when you're working with a client, you can do a real-time conferencing and we work, collaborate on that particular document together. So you just start a meeting or use a meeting code and then you just join and then you have the meeting together. Is that not really, really amazing? That is one of my favorite parts about it. And then let's now go into travel booking expertise as a virtual assistant. So some things you need to know about travel booking expertise is actually one profitable niche in virtual assistants as well. There are some essential things that you need to know about. You need to know about destinations. So you need to make a research about you need to make a research about popular destination. You need to make research about hidden gems and niche travel experiences. So some of the basic things that you need to do is before you even attempt anything as related to virtual assistants in travel booking expertise, you need to understand the fact that you need to know, okay, where is my client going, where what is their budget before you now start planning. So but before you even start planning as well, you need to know their destination. So you need to explore popular destinations, both domestic and international. You need to have these research skills. You need to also know hidden gems and niche travel experiences. You need to know the seasonal variations and peak travel time. You need to make your research on this. You need to know the visa requirements of whatever you are working on for your clients, the currency exchange, the local custom rules and all. You also need to know about transportations, know the airline routes and booking classes around that location. You also need to know the train lines, bus routes, and the car rental options. I'll show you some tools subsequently that can be used for this. You also need to understand connections, which are the transfers, the multi-city itineraries, and all. As regards to accommodation as well, you need to understand the different types. You need to understand the different types of accommodations, the hotels, hostels, B&Bs, vacation rentals, etc. You need to know about the amenities, star ratings, and budget considerations of your client. You need to know the location, accessibility, and local attractions of your clients as well. So there are some tools that you are needed for travel booking. You need for flights, you need aggregators. So you can find best deals for your clients across different airlines. You can use Kayak, you can use Kaikana, Momondo, you can use Google. For airline website as well, you can actually book directly for specific needs or loyalty programs. Also for accommodations, you can use hotel aggregators like booking.com, Expedia, agoda.com and all. But for vacation rentals as well, you can check for Airbnb.com, vrbo.com. For hostel specific websites, you can check for hostel world and all. For transportation as well, you can try some trains, which is train line, railroad, Europe. For car rentals, you can check rentalcars.com, kayak for your clients. For ride sharing as well, you can check Uber, Lyft and all. So those are really, really important as well. So there are some principles of professional email writing as well as a virtual assistant. So when you're sending an email out for your client, you need to have all of these things in mind. You need to have a clear subject line. A clear subject line actually summarize the email's purpose concisely. Okay, meeting with something something, invoice attached with client name and all. You also need to have, like, because the subject line is the first thing they see before opening any email, and if it's not clear, so what are they actually opening in that email. You need to also greet respectfully. You need to start with a formal greeting, dear the person's name, or hello the person's first name, so that you can have a more casual rapport with the recipient. There's one mistake you should not make as a virtual assistant when it comes to email replying, messaging. If you are not sure if someone is Mrs. or Mr., you don't have to use Mrs. or Mr. All these things, you don't have to. So just respect yourself, just focus on the respectful greeting, which is the person's first name. You need to also be concise and direct. So you need to get to the point quickly, use short sentences and avoid any unnecessary fluff. You need to also use actionable language. You need to make it clear what you need from the recipient or what actions you've taken. Also, it should be error free. So proofread meticulously for spelling, grammar, or any formatting errors. There also needs to be a professional closing. All your emails should end with sincerely, best regards, or thank you, and followed by your name and your contact information as well. There are some essential email templates that you can actually copy. If you are sending an introduction email, for example, it should be introduction, your name, and the virtual assistant. Then when it comes to the body, you have to introduce yourself and your services, the two, three, or three skills that you offer, express your interest in working with that particular client, and also include a call to action. When you're sending a follow-up email, you need to start with the subject, which is following up on the original subject, on what you've actually messaged them before. On the body, you need to reference your previous emails and the date it was sent. You need to briefly restate the key points of your previous email as well, and you need to reiterate your interest and availability. Also, when you are trying to confirm an appointment, you need to add the subject should be meeting confirmed date and time subsequently. You need to have like a body, so you have to confirm the agreed upon date, the time and the location. You need to provide links or dial-in details if applicable, and you also need to attach a calendar event. And also, when you are delivering works or files, you need to add like a subject, which is the project name, and then the files to be delivered. You need to add a body. A body is the one that is briefly stating what you are delivering, and also you need to attach any relevant files or provide links for any access. You also need to offer answer to any questions as well. So when it comes to video conferencing etiquette as a virtual assistant as well, there are some technical setup that you need to do. So before you actually even start a video conferencing call, you need to test your audio, you need to test your video and internet connection beforehand. You need to use a headset or headphones for optimal audio quality. You need to find a quiet location with good lighting and a neutral background. For virtual presence as well, you need to dress professionally as if you are in an in-person meeting. Dress, even if it's just from your head to like your mid, just dress so that they can see when you on your video. You need to also position your camera at eye level and look directly into it when you are speaking. You also need to maintain good posture and be mindful of facial expressions as well. Also, with participation, when you are not talking in a virtual in a video conferencing, you need to mute yourself to minimize background noise. You also need to use this chat functions for questions or side conversations. You don't have to interrupt when the person is speaking. You can use that. You can also employ virtual hand raising or reaction features when appropriate. So when you're in a video conferencing, you can add smile, you can do all this, raise up your hand, all of these things as well. And also be focused and avoid any distractions. Also, when you have to share your screen as a virtual assistant, there are some screen sharing etiquette you need to have. So you need to close any unnecessary programs and browser tabs. You don't have to have 100 tabs open and mistakenly you go and open your YouTube where you're watching a movie, or your Netflix where you're watching something else. You also need to have specific documents or applications you share ready to open. If you're having a meeting and it requires you to open some files, ensure that you have them ready. It's not until when the class now starts, that is when now you're now trying to create or open a file. Also, you need to practice beforehand if you are sharing complex processes or multiple screens as well. There are also some sharing best practices. So when you're having a meeting with someone, don't just share a screen without telling them what is exactly in the screen that you are sharing. You need to let them know why you are sharing the screen exactly and why. You need to also share only relevant screen section if that is possible as well. So you need to also use a mouse pointer. You need to also use a mouse pointer or now highlighting tools to direct viewers attention. So you have a mouse hovering all over, showing them what exactly whatever that you are doing, what it is for. You also need to explain your actions as you perform them. If you are demonstrating something, you should not just stay in one place and then they'll be expecting them to understand what they are saying. So know how to quickly stop your screen share as well. It's very, very important because sometimes you want to stop sharing and then it's not doing, then you're now wasting time all over on things like that. No, you don't have to do that to yourself as well. You also need, there are some also specific tools for virtual assistants. So during client meetings, if you're in a client meeting, you're the virtual assistant there, you have to take notes, and also after taking notes, you have to send a follow-up summary to your client. You also need to know how to manage the chat function, addressing questions and compiling them for later as well. You also need to know how to assist the host with any technical difficulties if needed. So when you are training or onboarding, you have to use screen sharing to walk clients through different processes. And also please know that when you are recording a meeting as a virtual assistant, please ensure that this meeting you are recording, you are actually you take their permission before actually recording them. This is also really, really important. So now let's go into data entry for virtual assistants. So there are so many specific tasks that you can perform as data entry tasks as a virtual assistant. Although we'll be exploring the spreadsheets own in this course, for the purpose of this course, we have the CRM systems, which is you entering and updating customer information, sales leads, and contact details. We have the spreadsheet, which is you inputting financial data, inventory figures, or survey results. For e-commerce platforms, you can update product descriptions, pricing, and stock information. For social media, you can compile analytics, track engagement metrics, or organize followers data. For specialized databases, you can update medical records, local documents, and research data depending on the virtual assistant's niche. So there are some key spreadsheet skills that you need to know how to do some average, minimum, maximum. I'll show you that. How to do some data validation, how to sort and filter, how to create charts and graphs and all. So some very common one is just entering data, importing data, cleaning and organizing data, ensuring data is accurate and relevant. So some best practices for spreadsheet data entry includes you need to get clear instructions. So understanding what you're asked you to do, the formula that you're supposed to use to complete the data. You also need to organize your workspace. So you have to create clear column headings and use formatting effectively for readability. You also need to utilize shortcuts, learn how to use all these shortcuts. You also need to use some built-in tools. You also need to be able to verify and proofread whatever that you are working on as well. So some of the things that you'll be asked to do, for example, let me open my Google Sheet and explain some of these functions to you. So this is Google Sheets. This is Google Sheets, and this is what it looks like. So just like Google Documents, it saves automatically on your system, and I prefer to use it. So now let me just explain the interface briefly, and then we'll do some little addition and subtraction and just some formulas. So this particular workspace, let's assume that you work for a restaurant. Let's assume that the name of the restaurant is Our Restaurant. Is our restaurant. So now under our restaurant, this is what we call the workbook. This workbook is named our restaurant. But mind you, within our restaurant, you can have different inventory. So if you have the client record, the stock inventory, like the number, probably the rice, the groundnut oil and all, and then we can have the clients, the staffs, then we can have for customer. So now this where we have down here, this is the worksheet, and this is where you can have different worksheets and into a different workbook. So instead of you creating an entire workbook again, you can just add all of these data into this particular worksheet. So let's assume this particular one as now. This particular worksheet, we have up to three data for our restaurant. So let's assume this worksheet sheet one. I can rename it to customers information. This sheet two, I can rename it to staff's information. And the last one, I can rename it to inventory. So now when you click on each of these box, now we call each of these box, we call it cells. We call each of these box, we call it cells. All these individual box, they are called cells. Each of these boxes are called cells. So now if you want to see where you are, you can see. So we have the row and then we have the columns. So the numbers are the rows and then the alphabets are the column. If you want to know where you are, for example, this is where this box, each of these boxes are called cells, and this guides you into moving around any of these. So for example, we are in G3. So G in column and 3 in row. So if you can see here, you can see where you are. So let's assume they ask us to go and sort a data, and the data is in Z100. So I can just come here and type Z100, enter. You can see It has brought me to Z and 100. You can see here. So this is how to just move around. If I want to go back to my A1 back, I'll go to my A1 and click on enter. So that's the basic thing. So now let's assume that we want to fill in some data. For example, let's try and fill in some data and then do some of the basic functions of entering a data. So let's assume you are trying to calculate the the total score of students in a class. So this is the name of the student. This is the first dashboard. So they have like the first test, they have the second test, and they have the exam. So in the name we have Awal, Bola, Shakira, Cynthia, Alima, Buki, Chinwe. Let's just assume the data that we have. And then we want to calculate total. And then let's assume this first test is over 15, the second test is over 15, and this is over 70. So we have 12, 13, 12, 13, 12, 11, 12. And then the second test we have 12. Let's just assume 11, 13, 12, 13, 12, 11. And then the exam over 70, they scored this particular scores 52, 54, 56, 57, 60. And then with the total score here, if we now want to calculate the total score, this is where the formula now comes in. So what we are trying to calculate is the total score from first test to exam. So the formula for adding anything together is to say equals to sum, open brackets. So we are adding from B3 to D3, so B2 to D2. So we're adding from 12, 12. We're adding all our scores together. So that will be B2, and then we'll do a semicolon, which means add from B2 to D2. So B2 to D2. So we're adding from, you can see that it has highlighted all of these parts, and then we close the brackets and click on enter. So this is the score. This is 84. So now when we've gotten the score, now you are not supposed to, we're supposed to add all of these ones together, but no, we are not going to do that because we've used the formula for this and this is accurate. All you have to do is just drag down these ones, click on this small circle here and just drag it down, and then it will fill in the answers for the other boxes. As you can see here, you can see easy peasy. It is really really easy. If you have 1000 data, you still follow it like that. Just drag the box, ensure that the first formula is correct, and just do that for if you're calculating the sum. Let's now assume that we want to know the class minimum score, we want to know the class average score, and want to know the class maximum score. So the class minimum score, for example, the formula will be equals to minimum. So now, for example, we are trying to calculate the minimum from E2 to E8. You understand? This is the minimum of all the total score. So this is going to be equals to minimum, open brackets, E2 to E8, close brackets, and then we'll click on enter. And then from average score is equals to average E2 to E8 as well, close bracket as well, enter. And this is the average score. And then for the maximum score, we are going to do equals to maximum, open brackets once again, E2 to E8, enter. So you can see here this data is not much, so we can see everything at a glance. The highest score is 84, the lowest score is 78, even as seen here. And then this is how to just use formula to do that randomly. So that is the end of just learning how to input data using using your Google Sheet or your Microsoft Word. So there are some common troubleshooting problems as virtual assistants. So if there is technical issue, for example, the problem can be slow internet, a software crashes, a hardware malfunctions or compatibility problem. Some of the solutions to it is to maintain a high speed, reliable internet connection. You need to have a backup internet plan. You need to keep all your software updated and use reputable applications. You also need to familiarize yourself with basic troubleshooting, which includes restarting the laptop, clearing cache, compatibility knowledge, and lots more. You need to also have like a go-to resources for tech support in your area and prevention. You have to regularly test your internet speed. Some other problems are communication problems, which is misunderstanding between you and your clients, a missed deadlines, unclear expectations as well. Solutions to that is to over communicate rather than assume. You need to ask clarifying questions. You need to set clear deadlines and expectations in advance. So get everything in writing. You need to provide regular progress updates to your clients. You need to establish prefer modes of communication and response time as well. You need to also establish use like project management tools to actually track your communications and all. You also need to create templates for recurring requests for or updates or requests from clients. We also have some time management struggles, which are some problems, which is if, for example, you are procrastinating, you have some distractions, you or there is missing task duration, or you are overbooking clients, for example. Some of the solutions is time blocking. So you have to dedicate, if it's 30 minutes in the morning, if it's 1 hour in the morning, ensure that you always dedicate it to focused work. Dedicate it to you that okay, this is the time that I'm using to work, so that you can be focused that way. Also, you need to have task prioritization. So you need to know what's important and urgent task is. Important is important, that but if you don't submit it now, you won't die. Urgent is urgent, you have to submit it now, except there's a deadline attached to it. You also need to try and minimize distractions during your work hours. Because you work from home, there's this there's possibility of you working overtime, or you not working at the time that you're supposed to work. You also need to learn to say no to additional projects if overcommitted. Also, you need to track your time to see where you spend hours and identify your improvements. You also need to do what do they call it? Build buffer time into estimates. So these are also some other common problems. So now I want to show you some tools that are really great for you as virtual assistant, or some tasks that you can be asked to do. So let's assume as virtual assistant you are asked to transcribe documents from audio, a video from or audio into documents. This particular tool is what you would use. So we have this rev.com, so it's going to make it easy for you. So instead of you using listening to those videos, especially when they have like strong accents and you cannot understand them, you can simply use this. Also, let me introduce you to another tool which is very great for data entry, which helps you with document conversion. With this particular document, you can actually convert documents from one form to the other. So let me show you. The document is called I love pdf.com. So as a virtual assistant, there are some things that you'll be asked to do. They can ask you to match PDF, split PDF, compress PDF, convert PDF to Word, PDF to PowerPoint, PDF to Excel, Word to PDF, PowerPoint to PDF, Excel to PDF. You can be asked to edit a PDF to JPG, a JPG to PDF. These are common tasks that you'll be asked to do as a virtual assistant. You can be asked to sign on a PDF, a watermark PDF, rotate a PDF, contact a web page to PDF, unlock a PDF. All this, if you go on Upwork, you will see all these are common tasks for you as a virtual assistant. You can be asked to protect a PDF, organize PDF, PDF to PDF slash A, repair PDF, add page numbers, scan PDF, OCR PDF, compare PDF, and all. So this tool is really really great for that. So one other thing I want to show you is if you're asked to create like a form, for example. So if you're asked to one tool you should know how to use as well is your Google Drive. So Google Drive is very important. So if I'm uploading a document here on Google Drive, for example, I can upload it as a new folder, as a file upload or a folder upload. And once I've uploaded it and then I want to share any of these documents here, I can simply just open this document, for example. I don't even have to open it and click on share. So when I want to share this particular document, it has the options. It has the options of me sending these documents and then everyone have access to it, or it's just you and your clients. So please take those up because your clients might actually ask you to send out documents and then they don't want it to be for everyone. It's just a requirement document for just some people or the other. So this is how you do that. So if it's restricted, if it's anyone with the link, you have to set this particular function. You can either copy the link or add the email and then they get it in their email box. So when I was registering you for this class, I sent a link to everyone to register for this class. So this is one way of actually creating survey and making things easy for you. If you have a large number of data your clients ask you to do, your best bet is creating like a Google form, and then because when you create a Google form, it automatically translates into your spreadsheet. You can convert it into Microsoft Excel easily and have all your data at one glance. Let's assume your client is looking for data of people in Lagos, people in Abuja, people in Nigeria and all. You can do that. So let me open this file to you, for example. So this was the Google file for this particular class, and then this was the free digital skills training. This was the Google form that I created, and then I had a number of responses. I had 212 responses. But now, if I want to now view all of these responses at a glance, all I have to do is to just click on view spreadsheet, and then it's going to open everyone's data on a spreadsheet for me. So now you can see I have everything on a spreadsheet. I have the time that each of these people registered, the dates that each of these people here registered, and that way is helping me to actually bring my data together. So Google document is really essential. Now let me show you how you can so you can see like everything is in one place, the time they registered. So it's going to show me all of these details in one place, and this is so amazing. So let me now show you how you can actually create like a Google document, a Google Drive document. So when you come to your Google Drive and then you click on new and then you go to your Google Forms. So when you go to your Google Forms, so I'm sharing this tab. So like I did, you just have to say so you just have to name this file first. So let's assume this is a virtual assistant training. A virtual assistant training. So the description is where I just talk about virtual assistant randomly. Any description about it. So I can come to the questions and ask for name. So let's assume I want to ask for name, and then the way I want it to appear, it should be in a short text. Then required means they have to fill it. If they don't fill this particular form, they cannot submit it. The next thing I want to add is they should fill in their email. So the email is also short answer, and then I leave it as required as well. So the next part that I have to go to is probably date of birth. So you have to choose the corresponding the necessary details for every of them, so that even when it's appearing on your spreadsheet is accurate. For you can see this has automatically selected dates for me, so I can put it as required as well. Then I can add one more question which is talking about probably location. So my location can be multiple choice. So I can add multiple choice, which is my multiple choice. So or let's say a checkbox or a drop down. So it can be Lagos, it can be Abuja, it can be Kaduna, it can be So I can handle all of that and set all of this as required as well. So let's assume that I'm done with every of the details. You can tell them to upload images and all. I can come to this customized theme here where I just probably just design it. If I want to change the color, I don't want purple and all. And then the next thing is I just want to preview it as well to see what it looks like. So this is what my form looks like when I'm previewing it. This is what it looks like. I can go back to the form once again and just click on send. So this is when I just want to share it with other people. So this was what I did basically, even to everyone that registered for this class. So I came to the link and just shorten the link, and this was the link that I sent to you, and just copy. So the first part that I showed you is after everyone has filled the form, you can just tell it to link it to your Google Sheet, and then you're able to find all the necessary informations there. So these are some of the basic things that you can be asked to do as a virtual assistant, and it starts from here. In subsequent training, I'll be teaching you more about content writing, which can also be a virtual assistant skills, media management, and also the building of an e-commerce website. So I hope you enjoyed this particular class, and I hope to see you in the next class tomorrow, which is the virtual assistant task. So if you have any question, you can always drop that in the group. So see you guys tomorrow. Bye.